Hey, this is Ramin from Kayra. Today I want to record the assembly of a leg um, with all of the parts in one go. And the question is whether I will be able to do it or not. But I've prepared anything and everything that is needed. And so I'll guide you through the whole assembly process and I hope that it's gonna work. I will start the stopwatch so that we can see how long the full assembly of a leg takes, just right after I explained what you see here. And so basically you see all of the four servos. Um, the servo here for the foot basically is has this orientation in the servo disc, whereas this one has this orientation and the other three as well, so that basically these match these parts. For example, here the knee. Okay. That's one aspect. The second aspect is I've put here all of the screws that I'm using. That's 5 millimeters, 8 millimeters, I think 12 and 20, something like that. Here is a bearing. You need basically two bearings. One is here for the hip and one is for the ankle. That's basically it. I assume that you have watched the tutorial how to add the rubber, the mouse pad to the feet. This is going to be a different tutorial. The second other tutorial that we need is how to center the servos using the servo controller. But that's a different story and it's also written down on the website. So I assume that all of these servos are centered and these horns are put in these orientations. Okay. All right. So without further ado, I'm gonna start the recording now. And let's see how long it's gonna take. I'm using this little machine screw here as well as the other one, and so let's go. I'm gonna take the ankle here and put the servo in here like so. Basically it's designed that you can put it like this in here, and you can use 2 to 3 screws. I'm gonna use the long ones here that I've prepared. Basically, no, it's actually these ones. So that's the 15 millimeters, and you screw them just right in. That's number one. That's number two. All right, so that's the first part. Next, we're gonna add the bearing here. Basically, it depends on how you print the support, whether it fits or not. You have to apply some force because it's important that it fits well. Whoops. There it is. If it doesn't, you may cut some of this filament here just to reduce the amount of plastic in the way. Okay. Where's the bearing? fits here. Okay. All right, so this is fitting. Now you have to keep an eye on this because we will fit it in the foot right now. It's important to not break anything. It's designed to survive this fitting here. All right, so the bearing is in here, and I usually start with the center of the servo. So that's going to be this screw here. All right. Then next you will at least add one or two of these shorter screws for the disc. For the tutorial, I think it's enough to have one. And basically you've built a little foot and it couldn't move like this. Okay. And then the next step is to add the shin. The shin is here. We will guide the cable through the shin like so, and then basically screw the shin to the ankle using the short screws. Exactly. So that's one here. Okay. And the second one is going to be a longer one. Like this. All right, so this is going to work. And then the next step is to basically add the calf. I have prepared the servo like so. It fits top down, and you need some screws that actually fit these holes, okay? Because otherwise it's not going to work. The nice thing is that we can use the motor screwdriver here. The last bit is going to take a bit like this. All right, the next step is to use this screw here to fix the servo on this side. All right, so we have this part here. It's important to have the orientation of the disc like so. And what we're going to do next is to have the ankle attached to the calf like this. So the servo is facing out, and here's going to be the knee. And we take the long screws here, basically, and add them like so. You have to make sure that you actually hit the hole of the calf. All right. Go, go, go. Okay. Well, it's okay. It's good enough. Then the next screw is going to be easier. Okay. basically we have the calf and the shin and the ankle and the foot. Next step is to add the knee. The knee is looking outward, so like this, okay. Because I always wanted to have Kayra to be serviceable. This is the fully assembled knee for reference. So we can basically put the plastic part first and then add this part here. Make sure that these holes all align like this. And then we add next screw here. Or not. So that's one part of the buildability, right? The parts, the holes of the plastic need to be a bit bigger so that you basically can easily fit the screw in. I'll revise that in the next version. But good enough. 3 times a charm, as they say. And here's another disc screw. That's it, basically. And now we're gonna add, we're gonna put the cable through this knee here. Okay. The next step is to add these screws so that the shin is attached, like so. These screws are, these holes of the shins are a bit bigger already, so it's much easier to get the screw in. Okay, other side. And that's it. You have a straight leg here, and it can move like this, which is pretty cool. And that's 10 minutes of work, okay? 10 minutes, which is, I think, acceptable. All right, so we're gonna repeat the same process with this calf here and this shin here. This time we will put 2 of these cables through the shin. I'm calling it a shin. I'm not a native speaker. I'm sorry. If you have a better word for this part, then please teach me, because I don't know. I'm usually calling these guys calves and these guys shins. I don't know whether that's correct, but I didn't find anything better on the internet. So, all right. So that's the one part. Second part, again, you have to make sure that this orientation is okay and looking like that. Okay. Another screw, again, the head has to fit in here. All right, so we're gonna have this like so. Do the rest by hand. Make sure that here there is no gap, okay? It's got to really sit very tight, all right? Because this is adding a lot of variance in the movements. Second screw. All right, so there is no wobble. Next step is again to add it here. Gonna take a long screw. once it's a bit outside here, it's much easier to get the hole fitting here, okay? All right, number one. Number two, the screw can be a bit shorter because this one is not so thick. Like so. All right, so make sure that these are aligned, okay? And this is straight and this is straight. It should be, because everything is designed well right now. Now we're gonna add the shin, or whatever it's called, with the shorter screws. Oh, this is actually a bit long. Doesn't matter. Okay. I've added 1 millimeter here so that it's 0.5 millimeter of variance here, okay? So it's okay to have a little gap in here. That's no problem. It's a bit too much. Okay. The other side. Let's take this one. All right. So the next step is to actually assemble the hip. Okay, the hip has a property of having 2 servos in here so that you can basically move like this and like this. We have to make sure that we do the right orientations, okay? When you're looking at the full assembled leg, then this is the back part, this is the front part, all right? So obviously this is the left leg of Kayra. And if this is the back, then we will copy this like so, okay, and like so, all right? Because again, here the servo is looking outward, and here the servo is looking to the front, so it's really serviceable. And if you're looking here, then these 4 holes should be aligned, and we're going to use the longer screws here to get out here, okay, like this. It's a bit fiddly because this guy is a bit too big. Let's see. No, it's gonna work. Okay, it should look a little out here because yeah, the design is not perfect right now, but I don't care. Okay, second screw is this. Usually what I do is I go over cross, okay, because it's making it easier to add the other screws, and you're making sure that it fits well. Okay, like this. Now we add the other 2. This is the front screw again. Okay, and short screw back here. All right, 4 screws in place. Now the next step is basically to make sure that you're doing the right thing, like this. Okay, now let's find the orientation, which should be like so. So this implies that we are putting, first of all of the 3 cables into the holes of the hip here. Number 1, number 2, and number 3. Thread them through like so. Again, we're adding first this part here. Bang. And we're gonna make sure that again the leg is straight, okay? And this is why the servo horn is oriented like this, because we want to assemble the whole leg in a straight position, okay? All right, so that's gonna be this screw here. Number 1. That's actually a bit too tight, because you want to be able to move the plastic against the horn so that you can fit the screws in here, okay, like so. Maybe not quite. Sometimes the holes are not really. Let's try another one. That was much easier. Don't forget to tighten this one. Okay, so that's basically it. Next step is to do this. And to do that. And that's basically it. Zip zap. Isn't that cool? Zip zap. Okay. That's pretty cool. Next step would be to also add this one again with the bearing. We can do that in a little second here. But actually the hip part is missing because it's still attached to Kayra's torso. So we're gonna do that in another tutorial. But basically we did one full leg within 20 minutes of time. So that's 20 minutes. Pretty cool. I hope you liked it and it's understandable. And please let me know whether there is something missing or you don't understand or you need a parts list or anything or have improvements for the build process, because I want to simplify the build process. So whenever there is any idea or feedback, please let me know. Okay, many thanks. See you soon.